I just had the most hilariously awful bad date. I need to tell you about it right now before I forget all of the minute details that were so hilariously awful. Like, it was definitely for the plot. So I matched with this guy, let's call him Steve. So Steve is very direct. He says, let's meet at Lavelle at 5 p.m. If you're in Toronto, you know what Lavelle is probably. It's on King Street. If you don't know what Lavelle is, if you're not from Toronto, it's like a very expensive, like high-end sort of bar, restaurant, almost club. It's like nice for views, but like views as in like of the six, you know what I mean? But it's not like really a place you want to go. Like, it's a weird place for a first date. I'm trying to explain, people from Toronto are gonna get it and like try and explain in the comments what I'm trying to say. It's not really like a place you go for a first date. It's sort of like a place that you might go for an event, but you don't go at 5 p.m. on a Saturday. It's a strange place to want to have a first date because I think they have minimums. It's just a weird place. It's a strange place. So I thought it was a weird choice, and that was like my first sign that, oh, something might be off here. But he had made a plan, and I was like, okay, like, it is a nice place, so let's just see what happens. You know what I mean? But the 5 p.m. thing, I was like, I've never heard of people going to Lavelle at 5 p.m. So I had a feeling, and my intuition is strong, you know what I mean? I had a feeling something was off. So I get there, I see him, I walk up to him, he has his AirPods in. He's like cute enough, you know what I mean? He's tall, he's cute, whatever. He's like got a little bit of a receding hairline, but other than that. And so I go up to him, I say, hey, like, you know, whatever. He gives me one of these. And then he says, he points at Lavelle and he goes, it's closed. Let's go here. Points to Starbucks. Because there is a Starbucks beside Lavelle. If you could understand the juxtaposition, I'm wearing like a corset thing and like silk pants, whatever. Like, I wasn't trying to put a lot of effort into this date, but I did like dress nice. And I definitely like didn't dress for Starbucks, and I just would have been more comfortable, which is annoying. And like, if you've seen my content, you know, I normally say like, you know, I'm not a big coffee date person, but normally I like know the person's personality more to like know that I want to hang out with them for upwards of an hour. He said, let's go here to Starbucks. I was shocked and appalled because to go from Lavelle to Starbucks is literally psychopathic insane. You're a nut job. But I think the fact that he even suggested that made me realize that, yeah, I think I only can handle coffee date amount of time with this person. And so, you know what? I would say it changed my stance on coffee dates, because I used to be very anti-coffee date. I think if you like someone, you don't need to do a coffee date. You can spend more time with them and have an actual dinner. But it's really great if you really don't like someone to be on a coffee date. And it kind of sucks if you're on a dinner date. So I get that. I get that now. I mean, if I was gonna be pessimistic, I would say yes to a coffee date, which almost makes me like not want to waste my time. Do you know what I mean? But I didn't do my due diligence. I was being lazy. I normally like try to like know if I can have a conversation with someone before I hang out with them. And I was just being lazy because I was like, okay, whatever. Like, sure, Lavelle. Let's go to Lavelle. Let's see. I in my best world of worlds, it's like a nice dinner and drink situation. We walk towards the top of the Starbucks line and he's like literally yelling in the Starbucks. Like, we're right next to the cash register and he's like, so what do you drink? What do you like to drink? How long have you been living downtown? How long have you lived here? And I was like, oh my God. And it made me want to be like extra quiet and like reserved and hush to compensate for the fact that I felt yelled at. Like, I literally got into my fight or flight mode. And I was like, honestly, I just want to take a moment to apologize to whatever Starbucks barista saw that awful date I was on with this man yelling at me. He's not even trying to yell. He's a salesman. He says he goes door to door. So I guess he's just always yelling. Or again, maybe his AirPods were like too loud before the date happened and he took them out. But I felt really bad. I was definitely embarrassed because I'm hyper aware of what's around me, people's reactions to me, etc., etc. And again, I'm not exactly a quiet person. I can be quiet, but in public, I tend to be very aware of if I'm being disruptive and annoying and too loud. You know what I mean? And that's coming from someone who occasionally has been told that I'm being too loud. So the fact that I am like literally shuddering with, I felt like the Starbucks people, everybody in there was just kind of like twitching every time his voice boomed. And I was like, do you not understand how invasive you're being to people's ears? I'm very hypersensitive to sound, right? He's like, what do you like to drink? What do you like to drink? I ordered it's like a caramel brulee latte. And as I was ordering it, he goes, oh, fuck me. What? And then he just starts laughing like maniacally. And I was like, I literally kind of laughed to myself. I was like, this is awful. This is so awful. Thank God it's a coffee date. That's like what I was thinking. I was like, this is awful. Thank God it's a coffee date. Holy. Then he gets his thing right away. We go sit down. Takes a while for mine to get there. As soon as we sit down, he starts playing Kiki, Do You Love Me? The Drake song that is in my bio. Please do not say to me, I am so tired of hearing it. I've heard it upwards of 1 million times. Kiki, do you love me? Question mark. Hey, Kiki, do you love me? Kiki, do you love me? Do you love that Drake song? Oh my God, that song's about you. Blah, blah, blah. People say it to me so much. I literally have to put it in writing to please not say it to me. And the first thing he does when he sits down is he pulls out his phone in the middle of Starbucks and plays the song out loud. Forever. Starbucks is a quiet place where people are like studying and minding their own business. And he just starts playing, Kiki, do you love me? This is your song, this is your song. And I literally, that was the first thing he did. I was like, I am cringing so hard. I wish I could disappear and leave right now. I hadn't even gotten my coffee yet. He thought it was funny to like make fun of me and make me uncomfortable. And it was not funny. And he's saying, his first thing is like, do you like sports? Do you watch sports? And I'm like, in theory, like when he said, do you like sports? I said, in theory. And he starts laughing and goes, you don't like sports. Like it was like I killed someone. Like I was like, yeah, I don't really watch it on TV. Like I like going to games if I can, but you know, I don't really watch it on TV. I don't have cable. Do you have cable? He was like, yeah, I do. Yeah, I'm with Bell, blah, blah, blah. And he's still being so loud. He's like, who are you with? Who's your internet with? And I was like, Rogers. And he was like, Bell is better. Bell's the best. Bell is better. And he was just like so disappointed in me for having Rogers internet, which I don't fucking control. The building tells you what internet to get. Like, and I even said that and he was like, yeah, I know. He asked me if I worked out. He was like, do you work out? Do you lift? I was like, yeah. He's like, you lift weights? I was like, yeah. He was like, nice. Yeah. And I was like, oh, what is happening right now? And you know when you're just so uncomfortable because somebody's being so abrasive and your energy is like, their energy is putting you into fight or flight mode and you're like, can this end? And so he's like, do you do cardio? And I was like, well, yeah, I'm a dancer. Like I teach dance. So yeah, that's cardio. And he's like, yeah, but do you do cardio? Like, do you run? Do you do the elliptical? And I was like, I do run sometimes. And he was like, really? You run? So like, I'm going to see you running around down here. And I was like, maybe. I went for a run 2 days ago. He was like, okay, I do the elliptical. And I was like, yeah, that was my thing in college. He starts laughing maniacally again. His laugh was always laughing at me. And I was like, what? And I also don't get that. Like some guys are so like, I must be macho that their only form of humor is to insult you and insult you as a woman and just insult you. And then when you don't laugh along, they're like, she's weird. She's not funny. No, sir, you're not funny. You're just insulting me. And like my entire gender. And you want me to laugh? You're dumb. Your emotional intelligence is the size of a teaspoon. Anyway, he says he does the elliptical. I said, oh yeah, I used to do that in college. That was my thing in college. He laughs at me. I say, yeah, I would like put on a show on my phone and just, you know, do the elliptical. And he was like, I bet you weren't even going that hard. You were probably like this. And he's like mocking me. And I was like, well, I actually like lost 50 pounds during that time. So, and he keeps mocking me. And I was like, did you hear me? Like, you're still going. And he was like, yeah, I heard you. At that point, I was like, okay, you're whack. Like, what's going on? There's something wrong. There's something missing, and it's called empathy and, like, human connection ability. Anyways, and so I literally started putting on my jacket. Another thing that he said that bothered me, sorry, I have 2 more things that he said that bothered me. One of them was about playing sports. One of them was about cars and my car. And when I said, I don't know a lot about cars, he was like, oh, and the other one was when he was talking about gyms. He was like, what gym do you go to? What gym do you go to? And I was like, I just go to the one in my building. And he was like, oh, you don't go to like a real gym? And I was like, no, I used to go to a Good Life, but I stopped like in the pandemic. And then I was like, yeah, like maybe one day I would get a real gym membership again, but I just wouldn't know which one, like where to go. And he thought I had said, he starts bursting out laughing in the middle of this Starbucks, bursting out laughing at me. And I was like, what's so funny? And he was like, you don't know what to wear to the gym? That's what's stopping this girl from going to the gym, is you don't know what to wear? And I was like, I literally just said that I went to the gym. I said I go to my condo's gym. A. B, that's not what I said. C, you're annoying and insufferable. I hate you. So, yeah. And then after all of these things, and just the general tone of insulting me for being myself, and the yelling, and he wasn't yelling because he was upset. I think he's just a salesman. Like, he's just so loud. And, you know, I'd put on my jacket, whatever. And then at some point, he literally pretty abruptly just was like, okay, I gotta go. And like left. And was like, see you around, okay? And he like gives me like a punch buggy on like, I shit you not, like, it was crazy. That's one of the worst dates I've ever been on ever. Comment below if you've been on a worse date than that and tell me what happened. I also have other ones that I can tell. Like I've had like a handful. And most of them do involve like serious nagging. So that's a thing that I wish would stop happening to me. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Also, if you're made it to this part of the video, comment down below any questions you might want me to answer. I'm going to do a Q&A soon. I made a YouTube short a couple days ago asking for some questions. I got some really good questions on there that I'm definitely going to answer. But if you have questions that you would want me to answer in this Q&A, please comment down below. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I love you. I hope your dates go better than mine did. Love you. Bye-bye.